What is up, guys? OddEYES Lumia here, and I just gotta tell you, we are getting so close to that 500 sub giveaway that I upped the ante a bit. So not only will you receive those Pulsemon sleeves, chance at the Agumon Gabumon sleeves, chance at the Machinedramon Machine Supremacy sleeves. I got my hands on this beautiful stack right here in the giveaway as well. That means instead of 3 winners, we will have 4 winners. So once again, guys, share my videos, get my name out there. I appreciate everyone who watches my channel and supports my content and enjoys my content. These sleeves are sick. 500 sub giveaway. Tell your friends, share, subscribe.
What is up, guys? OddEYES Lumia here today, and I have a sweet little deck feature for your viewing pleasure. I recently took first place at a locals where I pulled that $700 Omni in my prize packs, and I posted up that Omni, and a lot of you guys were interested in the list that I took first place with. So we're going to go over that today. So we're going to start with our eggs first. We run 4 Demi-Marimon. He's just, the linchpin in purple when it comes to the eggs. I'm not going to lie, Sunamon is really nice sometimes, but you just can't complain about Demi-Marimon's draw effect. So we run 4 of those, and we run 1 Sunamon. Your turn once per turn when you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, trigger draw 1 card. This happens quite a bit. Purple's really strong right now with their eggs, and I think Sunamon's fantastic for a 5th egg. The app is a little weird, so we're going to go over the tamers and the options first. This is our memory tamer. It returns 1 purple option card or purple Digimon card from your trash to your hand. This can just be helpful when you need like a Beelstar, but you don't have a Intmon to get it back, or any of your level 4s, or like your Rebellymon to set up for a retaliating blocker. Madashite is just kind of really good in this deck for that specific reason. And then he starts your memory at 3. Musketeers don't really need like a memory tamer, but it is still super nice when you do have it. Then we have Sora and Mimi. Start your turn. If your opponent has no level 4 low Digimon in play, gain 2 memory. It's pretty easy. You're board wiping them and you're killing off their resources. It's really easy to gain this effect, and it just gives you an additional 2. But what we really care about is when one of your purple Digimon attacks, you can suspend this tamer to trigger draw 1 card from your hand, then trash 1 card in your hand. Just set up your trash nicely with all your options, make it easier for Beelstar to come out, and your rookies are getting in extra attacks. The spice. So I run 1 Thomas. I actually just didn't have a mat from the starter deck, the 2-cost mat. But I won't lie, this was actually really nice. The fact that it replaces itself is really great. The other mat doesn't. The mat doesn't, and the Sora and Joe don't. And Sora and Joe is just too much memory in my opinion. So I ran 1 Thomas on play, draw a card. And you don't care about its main effect, but this is really just so you can hard play your Cocytus Breaths when you need to, when you're playing against like black blockers or Machinedramon. Then you have 4 Fly Bullets in the deck. This is the best option in the deck by far. If you have a Digimon with 3 Musketeers in its type, you may use it without meeting its color requirements. Cool thing is you're playing purple, so majority of the time you can cast this even without a Musketeer. And then deletes one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon. And then security, it's same effect. It's the best purple option in purple by far. We run 1 Happy Bully Showering. I used to run this at 2, but it just didn't come up as much and I needed room for Cocytus Breath, so I pulled 1 and put in Happy Bullet Showering. It's really a decent card. It's really good against Rookie Rush. It's really good against decks that lay down the same amount of DP. In the finals, I played against a Shine Gray control deck. I know, right? It's Shine Gray. But that deck is kind of gnarly. It was really just who decked out first in our match, because he couldn't really do anything, and I would just kill off his resources, but then I ended up decking out game 2, and then we went into game 3, and I ended up pulling the win. But this was really cool when he had 2 Shine Grays out, and I just killed them both. So it was pretty great. So one of, most definitely. But do keep in mind, you do have to have a Musketeer on board to really get it to play. You can't just hard play this like Bullet, Happy Bullet, or Fly Bullet, sorry. Then we run one Gwaltstormer, just really good for those decks that are trying to build a board, and then you just board wipe them. It's 7 costs or less, so it's super fantastic. The only thing that sucks is it adds to your hand from security, so it doesn't activate. So we only run it as a 1-of. Then we run 2 Trump Sword. I pulled 1 Trump Sword for the other Cocytus Breath to make room. And honestly, I want to up this. I want 1 more in this deck at least. This card is just really fantastic against Gabubon in particular, because they swing, they unsuspend, you can kill it, which is super nice. It's really good against Omnimon OTK. It's really good just in general. It's probably the second best purple card in, like, purple option card in purple for sure. And I want to run it at 3, just trying to make room. So yeah. 2 Nailbone. I honestly thought about dumping one of these to 1. It's a really fantastic card, and you'll see why in our level 4 lineup we run the colors we do. But Nailbone, you want to see it because you want to see it in your trash, but you don't want to see it in your hand because it just feels bad. Sometimes I wish this was a Trump Sword, but this card also helps you close out the game with your Ginku promote, and it also helps you set up like with Gazi so they can't gain a crap load of memory. So I'm so on this card. I definitely thought about putting it to 1 and adding another Trump Sword, but right now I'm running it at 2. Then we get into the rookies. We have 4 of the best Digimon in the deck. It does so well in this deck because it's a trash 4, because if you have it on Demi-Maramon, and it's a draw 1, so you're digging 5 cards into your deck, which is absolutely fantastic, and you're discarding your options and your Musketeers and whatnot to make Beelstar cheaper. I want to add the Beelzemon to this deck, but I haven't been able to find a place for him. I had him in the deck originally and it just didn't feel right, but then like I really missed Beelzemon being in the deck. The Hitmon's obviously going to see a crap load of play in BT9 or EXO2. So yeah, I run 4 of this boy. Run 2 Soundbirdmon. The card's fantastic. It does get shut down by memory negators though, so do keep that in mind. You can trash 1 option card from your hand to gain 1 memory, which is fantastic. It also helps you like set up your trash, gain a little bit of memory when you need it. That Shine player, literally memory, like choked me the entire game, and it was kind of tough to, you know, do multiple things that I wanted to. When I wanted the on-play Impmon to get back a Beelstar, but it would end my turn, and it was just kind of tough. That's where I kind of wish I had like the Sora Joe or something like that. But like I said, Thomas was really good. 3 of the on-play Impmon. Another card that's just trash card in your hand, and then return Digimon with 7 Great Lit Demon Lords or 3 Musketeers and it's typed to your hand. Really freaking good. Another reason I just want to run the Beelzemon, because he's a 7 Great Demon Lord and he can warp Digivolve on any of the Impmons, which does matter. But this is like your 7, so we run 3 of these, so you have technically 7 Beelstars in the deck. I usually like to hold on to these, that's why I run it at 3. I don't like to see it early game because it feels the absolute worst when you have to evolve it on an egg to draw a card and using it to swing at security. Sorry guys, it's like 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning. 2 Tapiromon, on deletion trigger, draw a card. With Demi-Maramon, it's a draw 2, trash 1. It's really good to set up your hand, set up your trash. I definitely wouldn't change the ratios, I like it at 2. And then 1 Gazimon. The only reason I run 1 Gazimon is because it's really easy to just get back from my trash. I can get back from Nailbone, I can get it back from Omnimon Zwart. I only really saw him useful at 1, and he feels really bad if you're playing him in your raising area, so you kind of just want to get him out in the turns that mean the most. we'll go over our level 4s. We run 4 Deputymon. This card, I kind of hate this card and I kind of love this card. Reveal top cards of your 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with 3 Musketeers in its type and or 1 option card with a memory cost of 7. The only thing that frustrates me about this card is if you open both the 3 Musketeers and an option card, you have to add both. And like majority of the games I played, my mills were pretty horrible with this card. The nice thing is it can warp Digivolve into any of your 3 Musketeers. So if you need to go into like a Beelstar, or if you need to go into a Gundramon, which will be normally your Gundramon, it can warp Digivolve, which is absolutely fantastic to set up into Zwart real fast, or if you need to like turbo out, like to get rid of a tamer, like Beelstar's not the worst thing in the world either. So it's like, because you can always get it back, but yeah, it's not bad. 1 Ogremon, this card is MVP. This card is incredible. Trash is a card, so you trash an option pretty much. Fill your trash. Then you delete when your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. I love this card. This card's so good in this deck, it's stupid. I love plopping this out on the board with Zwart, so I can kill off one of the level 4s, set up a Gazi so they can't gain memory, and swing with Zwart. 2 Vilemon. The reason I run 2 Vilemon and 1 Mechanori is mainly because Nailbone only does purple. It does not do black, so keep that in mind when you're playing. It cannot get a level 4 black Digimon. So it can't get your Deputymon, it can't get your Mechanori, but it can get your Vilemons, and sometimes you need that blocker. Ginku Promote. This card is when your opponent starts like losing resources and they can't play as much. It's a great time when you can go Beelstar into Nailbone into Ginkaku Promote, swing into security. You also set up kind of a little board. You can also follow up with Zwart, depending on if your turn ended or anything, and just set up a massive board, and your opponent kind of can't come back from that sometimes. Level 5s in the deck, we run 1 Mechanorimon. His card's incredible. It should not be as good as it is, but it's a very balanced card for the most part, except for black and black blocks. This card's incredible. I mean, insane, and it's such a pain in the butt to get over. So Mechadori is really good against decks that want to try and rush, like Champion Rush and Rookie Rush. So you drop a Mechanori and your opponent's kind of going to just be sitting there. And it sets up nicely for the turns when you can just continuously board wipe them or something like that. So okay, and then we go into our level 5s. We play 3 Rebellion. This card is insanely good. It's the Jessamon killer in my opinion. When Digivolve, you trash 1 card in your hand to have this Digimon game blocker. It gains retaliation as well. So your opponent's Jessamons, even if they have Pierce, it doesn't matter because you're killing it on blocks. This card is MVP. It's so nice. It's also nice when you don't want to, go into a like Warp Digivolve, and you can go him into from Vilemon into like Gundramon, and you only have to cost 4 and get Gundramon's effects off, which is fantastic, which fills your trash. And that trash 1 card also sets up your options. So we run 3 of that. Then we run 3 Gundramon. He's a blocker, so it's pretty decent in just the sense it can attack, which is really nice. And then when Digivolving, you reveal 5 cards from the top of your deck. You may use an option card from among them with a memory cost 7 without paying its memory cost. That's why we run Kokaitis Breath. Then if no option card was used by this effect, delete when your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less. This kills most rookies and very few champions, but it's still very nice to get a either or kind of effect. And he's, fodder to evolve into Zwarts. Best card in the deck, Beelstarmon. When playing this card from your hand, reduce its play cost by 1 for each 3 Musketeer in its type. And option with a memory cost 7 or in trash. It doesn't gain memory, so it doesn't stop from the negators. It literally just lets you reduce its play cost, which is absolutely fantastic. On play, return 1 option card with a memory cost of 7 from your trash to your hand. Then use 1 option card with a memory cost of 7 in your hand without paying its memory cost. You don't have to use the one that you returned. You can use any level 7 in your hand. 7 cost in your hand. So do keep that in mind. You can use Cocytus Breath, which is really cool. Yeah, it's nuts. It's really nutty. But do keep in mind, if you do use Cocytus Breath, make sure you do have the Tamer on board, because I don't think you can cast it without meeting that requirement at least. Because it doesn't say color requirement, it just is paying against memory cost. So do quote me. Don't quote me on that, and let me know in the comments below if that is not true, or if it is true. So yeah. Then we have 2 Zwart defeats. Just really good against a lot of decks right now. Those players that are trying to set up their memory tamers. I've noticed a lot of decks, especially Gabuban, Agumon, even the Shine Gray deck I played against, they want to set up their memory tamers and make sure they have 3 at the beginning of the turn. And so if you can just delete their memory tamer, it's really kind of difficult for them to come back as hard as they can, especially if you have like a Gazi on board. They can't use their blue memory boost to go to 2, and it makes it really hard for them to go Gabuban, because they move the Gabumon up, the Yagumon up, and they only gain 1 memory, and then they don't have a way to like go up if you're choking them. So, and it is very easy to choke people in this deck, but do keep in mind, the majority of the time you don't choke, you just go balls to the wall with all your options and set up your Bill Stars. So. And then Zwart, he's a win condition. He makes it so you can like outpace your opponent and out-tempo them. So when digivolving, trash the top 3 cards of your deck. Then you may play up to 2 black or purple Digimon cards with a cost of 8 or less from your trash without paying the memory cost. When attacking, you may return 1 level 6 Digimon card from your Digimon's Digivolutions to your hand to delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimons cost 12 or less. Do keep in mind that is unsuspended. I've seen a lot of people delete non-unsuspended Digimon with this, and that is technically cheating, so do keep that in mind. But yeah, guys, that is the deck. We are pretty close to our 500 sub giveaway, so do keep that in mind. Share my videos and try and get my name out there so I can get those sweet sleeves out to you. And yeah, so if you guys know anyone who likes TCGs, tell them that my channel, give this video a like, subscribe, and I shall see you next time. OddEYES Lumia out.